friends, thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to put together macaroni and cheese, and I'm going to do it with a bechamel sauce. And I'm making two pans because we're having this for our Labor Day festivities. And I'm making one pan of gluten-free. I used a lentil, cauliflower, I think, and chickpea type of pasta. I should show you that before I end, so that if you are gluten intolerant or have celiac, this is one you can use. I cooked that up ahead of time. I've already cooked up my other pasta for my other batch of non-gluten free, and I've had this stove top heating up a little bit, and I melt about a stick of butter. Give me one moment though. Oh, I threw away that box. So anyway, I'll try to put it in the comments or something, see if I can look it up later and dig through and find it. But anyway, I want to start this out. I think I might have gotten this teapot. Yeah, I definitely did. I don't want to scorch my butter. I'm going to take that off. But let me just go ahead and get this started with a bechamel. You kind of melt butter and you melt this on the back burner so you can see. But I'm going to use some flour to thicken it up, and I'm using this gluten-free flour. It's Bob's Red Mill, and it's 1-for-1 baking flour. I've used this for gravies. I've made macaroni and cheese with this before. My grandkids love it because they have celiac, and uh, they like it. Well, I should say they like it because they're not like huge macaroni and cheese fans. I think they had an overload when they first got celiac, and they're like, no, we don't want it as much, Grandma. But when I made this, they really did love it. So that's a step forward. I know gluten-free pastas, it's really probably all how you cook it in certain brands. I'm not a huge fan of gluten-free pasta, but this is pretty tasty. And the trick too is not to overcook it. And I loved how it had these little holes, so it'll really take in a lot of the cheese. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to use 1 stick of unsalted butter. Yep. I'm going to smush that around a little bit. I've got about a quarter of a teaspoon of, quarter of a teaspoon. I have more than that. I have a quarter of a cup. And you just want to make sure you don't have your pan too hot. You don't want to burn your butter. So I'm picking it off because I had this sitting here way too early. You probably only, to make this, probably only need like a medium to start off. Oh, I forgot about my milk and everything. I'm going to use. Let's get that out so we have that. What I'm going to use? I almost forgot. Sorry, I've got my back to you. Thought I had everything out, but I don't. There we go. We're going to use whole milk in that and heavy whipping cream. A lot of times, too, when I make mac and cheese, I use evaporated milk. I've got so much stuff in there for the holiday. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put this in, but I use a lot of times evaporated milk. It has a lot of flavor to it and richness. But I didn't have any. I can't believe my pantry's full, and I have plenty of sweetened condensed milk, but that will not work. So we're just making a roux, and I'll show you this in a moment. I don't want to move my camera because then I got to retest it to make sure I'm in the shot here. And you're going to cook this about a minute because it cooks, I think, that flour flavor out. It should thicken up a little bit. Kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. See, that's what it's looking like so far. It should thicken up any time now. Maybe I was only supposed to use a half of, I think I might need a little more flour because I think I was supposed to use a half stick. But then I was like, well, I'm doing this big batch, but I didn't take into account my, so I'm probably like 2 more tablespoons. I don't want to overdo it. I hate when it's too, I don't like when my macaroni and cheese is so like sticky glop. There we go. And so I'm going to take some of this heavy whipping cream. I've got to use that up. Like I always have plenty in the house because I make homemade ice cream. And I'm going to put a 1 cup here. I'm going to take about 1 cup of whole milk. And we'll just add more to that as we go along. Because I'm making 2 pans of macaroni and cheese, so this is going to be a big batch. All right. And then we're going to just slowly, and some people recommend that you warm the milk, which I totally get, but I didn't do that today. So I think what their point proved here is it makes it less floppy. So I've got my stovetop on about 4 right now. And I have the smaller burner on. I have one of those glass tops. And so I'm just slowly, you really can't leave this. This is kind of crucial. You have to keep staying here. This is really thickening up. What a busy day. Doing a lot of cooking, shopping, cooking today. Smells good. And I just do a little as I go. And I don't pour the whole thing in all at once. Now it's getting really thick. Stir, stir, stir. You work out those arm muscles. So we're going to go ahead and do, I didn't quite have like a half a cup there. And so I'll use the rest whole milk. I could use just half and half, but I didn't want to, I had used this heavy cream and I didn't want to, I did not want to use all my half and half up. So I thought, well, I'll make my own half and half. And so I've got like another 2 cups. And I've got a lot of cheese in this, and I'll show you that in a moment. So let me get you a look to see what it looks like. See, there we go. So I'm going to pour this in. And give me a second, and I'll show you how much cheese I've used. I've used 1 8-ounce brick of extra sharp white cheddar. And I used about, probably 12 ounces of this orange extra sharp cheddar. So they're both extra sharp. I'm gonna put a little bit of cream cheese, and I'm gonna put a little bit of American cheese in here. You can add more than 1 cheese to your. I'm making a huge mess with this milk all over the counter. And I didn't double check to see how much I really needed for this huge batch I was making, but so we'll let that thin out. I know I'll have to add a little bit more, and then we'll add the cheese, and we'll be back in 1 moment. All right. Sorry about that. I had to stop for a moment there. Wasn't sure with a double batch how much extra cream I needed. So I put four, five. I can put up to 8 cups for this. Let's see. Go ahead and pour in. I got one more cup, so I put in 4. This will be 5. And after I get this is nice and smooth and creamy, then we'll put in this flavoring. Now my mom, she always made her macaroni and cheese pretty much this way, and she didn't use too many seasonings in it. She always put like salt and pepper, little nutmeg, and there might have been other things I just didn't recognize, but I pretty much think this is she just did that basic way, but I'm going to add a few other little seasonings in there. So yeah, I feel safe that I can put some more cream in there because I want this to be creamy and cheesy. I know the southern. I was checking out some recipes also to see if online to see if I wanted to do anything a little different. So we've had 5. This is going to be 6. And I used a little more heavy cream. Put that back in the fridge. And I see the southern way is they put a lot of eggs in there. And I almost thought about doing that. I thought I'll be a little creative another time and try that. Because you definitely, I think, have to be used to that and the texture of it. It's like a little more custardy, which could be really good. But, you know, if you're used to a mac and cheese a certain way, then sometimes you want it that way. You know, you don't want to try something new. Yeah, I want one more cup of milk because I got a lot of cheese here and I want that to be good and creamy. So, yeah, we've done 8 cups of cream or, let's see, close close to a half a cup of flour. And we used 1 stick of butter so far, unsalted. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. I'll put this in the sink. Let me know what are your classic go-to summer picnic foods. It's like I know from region to region it probably varies so much. I mean, remember back when I was a kid, back when I was a kid. I sound like old timer, don't I? We won't talk about the age. But anyway, I can remember like barbecues and cookouts was the basics: hamburgers, hot dogs. There always was a tossed green salad, baked beans, potato salad, macaroni salad, coleslaw, and there always had to be a Jello mold involved. So I'm going to turn this up to 6 because we want to melt the cheese. And I'm going to start with my cream cheese because that's going to be the easiest once I start putting all this other cheese in. There's going to be a lot of stirring going on. It's like, and my grandkids, they do not like Jello too much. I mean, we had all kinds of Jello salad, I guess, just because there's so many choices of desserts right nowadays, right? But like when you're a kid, of course, I think that's part of it. When you're a kid, your level of your gourmet palate is limited. But yeah, we love Jello salad. We loved the Jello rings. We loved Oh my gosh, they had different ways of doing like a strawberry supreme. And you did the strawberry jello and the Cool Whip, and I think you used some of those sliced frozen sweet strawberries. Yeah, so that will melt pretty quick. This, I said I probably could have even used a whole package, but I decided just to use 4 ounces. And then I'm going to take my American cheese. I've got about 7 slices here, about half a pound of American cheese. Where's my knife? Here it is. We'll use this. So maybe I'll cut that in fours. Yep. And I could have really used pre-shredded cheese, but I like the flavor. I like it when it's a fresh block like that and you grate it yourself. I like the way it tastes. And I know they use a lot of caking, like a cornstarch or some kind of starch, so that the cheese doesn't cake together. So that will affect your texture of your mac and cheese. I wouldn't say I'm the world's greatest mac and cheese, but it's pretty good. I make one too. Sometimes we'll put a Velveeta cheese in here also. Like do a few different types of cheese. I'm like, so bad for you. And it's like I eat less and less. Like I don't know if I said it on some of my other videos. I'm kind of like going 80%, eating 80% clean. So this is American cheese is not on there, and probably quite a few other things. But I do make a little exception for on the day of a holiday or birthday. That's why I don't say I'm eating clean 100%, 80%. 80% of the time, 80% of the food is clean. So, but at least making it homemade, you know what's in there. All right, so that's starting to melt. I think it's safe to put in there. I've put in some granulated garlic powder, granulated onion, dry ground mustard. What else did I put in there? I don't remember. Oh, salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. Yeah, basics. So we'll stir that. And then we'll put a touch of hot sauce. Not much, just to give it a little flavor. Put cayenne in there too. Let me see if I do have hot sauce. But yeah, I do. Well, I got hot wing sauce. Oh, I got salsa picante. I don't want that. And I don't want chipotle. Oh, I can't believe I don't have plain old hot sauce. I guess not. We'll use a little bit of this. Oh, this is for buffalo wings. But we'll just use a little drip. It's a huge batch, so it's just a little zing. Can't overdo it. Some of the grands do not like spicy, so. And I don't like over spicy, so. But I do like a little zing of it. I love buffalo wings, so that's a whole nother topic, right? All right, so let me show you the creaminess. Can you see that? And it really should coat the back of the spoon, and it totally does that. So now here's all my grated cheese. It's the extra sharp orange cheddar and the extra sharp white cheddar. I said that's 12 ounces of the orange and 8 ounces of the white. I got the American cheese in there. Let's get to stirring. Stir, 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 stir. So I'll just stir this, and then I'll come back while I'm going to pour it over, okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and put some of this cheese in the gluten-free. I'm going to go by half cups, just because a lot of my other measuring cups are dirty. So we'll go by half cup, right? And I'm just going to mix it in this pan, and I'm going to put theirs in a smaller pan, and then I'll put the, so we got 1, 2, that's 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 cups. And let me give that a good stir, and we'll take a look at it. And I figured I'd just do the gluten-free first so I don't cross-contaminate. I know my grands, they can, they can eat things out of the same pan that was cooked. I mean, it has to be clean in between. I know, but there's some people with celiac, they can't even use the same utensils or pans. It bothers them if it's even in the air. So I know some people that they can't have like one bite of anything or any kind of cross contamination. Thankfully, I mean, I try to be very careful, but you don't always get the results you want as far as being super careful. So I added another cup. So we got 5 cups of cheese in there. And with all those big holes on each side of the pasta, I'm just giving it a good stir so it can get in all the little nooks and crannies and the major cheesiness. Now I feel like, I'm trying to think how much I got. I've got quite a bit of cheese left, but I want to do the other batch. So let's go get that. Let's put this in a smaller pan. We'll take a look at what we got there. I'm making this all the night before, and I don't think I'm going to bake this. I think I'm just going to, we'll heat it up tomorrow and serve it like this. And we probably will have to add a little bit of milk to get it creamy again, because the pasta will soak up some of the moisture. When you bake it, it's a whole different texture, and sometimes it's not quite as creamy. And I do like it both ways. So how about you? Do you like it creamy, or not that it's not creamy when it's baked? Now the ideal thing is to have your pasta when it's still warm, put it in a pan and not go like this, because then you got to take your time to unstick it together, because you want all the cheese to go on the little nooks and crannies. So I'll be back in a second. I don't want you to have to sit here and watch me do this, but you get the idea. Okay, I took this pasta and I loosened it up. Here it was all stuck together a lot. I know better than that, but I had just so much to do today that I was like, let me just at least get the pasta cooked. I don't know, one step of all the things I have to do, and that's life, right? Real life. So I used the elbow macaroni that has the little ridges on to hold all the cheesiness. And also, I went through my recycling and I found that pasta. It's called, what's the brand? Oh, Veggie Craft Farms. So, yep, it's a blend of lentils, peas, and cauliflower flour. So I did not know that, but yeah, so that's what we used. So I'm gonna use this is a little bit more. Now I cooked a whole pound of the elbow macaroni, but I probably only use like 3/4 of a pound in this macaroni and cheese. So there's a total of 2 cups. Remember, this is a half a cup measuring cup. 1, 2. So there's 3, 1, 2, there's 4. 1, 2, there's 5 there. I need another spoon. Can't use the one for the gluten-free because we will cross-contaminate. Do not want to do that. Especially when I work so hard to. That's the thing about when you have friends and family that have that, you want them to have a good time on the holiday or the get-together. So that's a great way to host people, to make them feel wanted, and you're thinking of them. So this looks so good. So I'm going to put another cup of cheese in here, and then I'm going to add the rest. I think to my other. Oh gosh, I have plenty of sauce here. That's cheesy. Doesn't that look good? So sometimes when I bake it, I'll take like Ritz crackers and some melted butter. I'll crush up the Ritz crackers in the processor, put a little melted butter, and then put the crumbs on top, and then bake it in the oven. That's so yummy too. So let me get a fork. Gotta give it a try. Let's get a big forkful. Oh, that's perfect. Oh my gosh. That is good. That is so good. Mm, you want to try that? All right, so I'm going to go for now. I'm going to go finish up, clean up. I've got 2 more things to make today. We'll see. But I hope you have a great Labor Day. And if I post this way after, I'm sorry. I hope you give this macaroni and cheese a try. If you like this video, please hit subscribe. And please share this channel with your friends. Have a good day.